Welcome back to Cabin View Ventures. So I just got done doing a quick cleanup on the trailer because I am selling the trailer today. Now that is my carry-on 6x14 utility trailer. I built those 2-foot sides for it, and it's been a really good trailer for me for hauling the side-by-side, the zero turn, firewood. It holds up to 1 quart of firewood, and I've hauled a lot of mulch in there. But it is time for a pretty serious trailer upgrade. So we're going to talk a whole lot about trailers here in just a little bit. Now, if you saw my last video, I did a 2-month follow-up review on my 2024 Ford F250 XL. And one thing I forgot to mention is how impressed I am with the fit and finish of this truck. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, now all this stuff is gonna sound like it should be pretty standard on any car or truck nowadays, but trust me, it's not. So for fit and finish, one thing, interior, you know, this truck has absolutely no squeaks, no rattles. Everything is nice and quiet inside this cab and outside for that matter. My Chevy, my Silverado, for example, that was a 2024 2500 LT. It had that huge 13-inch screen on it, and that screen would get a little vibration to it every once in a while, and if you put a little pressure on it and pulled it in towards you, it would stop. So they probably left a little too much gap in between that. But this truck, you know, the dash, you know, or the dash is nice and solid on this thing. No vibrations there. There's not a whole lot in this truck just because it's an XL and I didn't add any tech features to it. So vinyl interior, you know, the seats are really nice. Very happy with the quality of the seats, minus the fact that there's no not much control for them, so you can't adjust these seats up or down. They only move back and forth, and then the back. So not a whole lot of adjustment to the seat, but that hasn't been a big issue for me. And then outside, the paint quality is really nice on this truck. And again, I'm comparing that to my my Silverado that I just traded in. So that Silverado, I love the truck, super nice truck, but there was a ton of dirt in the paint of that truck and in really visible spots. I had a bunch on the roof, probably 5 or 6 on the roof. I had one like right around here on my driver door, and I mean, it was a big piece of dirt that they just, you know, painted and cleared over. So kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. It happens quite a bit with any new car, but walking around this Ford, I have found absolutely zero paint defects on this thing. And I have hand washed this truck several times and I've been looking for them. So really impressed with how good the paint quality is on this truck. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about are the gaps, the door gaps, the hood, the fenders. All of these gaps line up almost perfectly. Very little deviation when you walk around. And again, I know that sounds like something that should be pretty typical with any car, but trust me, it's not. I've been in the car industry for about 20 years now, and what's really hard is to line up these hoods. But this hood is almost perfect on both sides. Not easy to do. So pretty impressed with the quality of this basic work truck that Ford builds. Alright guys, so I want to get a jump start on my firewood bags for the weekend. So I want to get a couple bags done, and while I'm doing this, let's talk about trailers. So I just sold my 14-foot utility trailer. That has been a great trailer for me. You know, I have used that thing. I mainly bought that to move my side-by-side, my zero turn, and it's been really handy when I need to pick up or drop off firewood. That trailer at 14 feet can hold a full quart of firewood. I've hauled a whole lot of mulch in that because we have a lot of big mulch beds around the property. So in the springtime, you know, I'm pretty busy hauling mulch in that trailer. But it was time for a pretty big upgrade. And when you own a firewood business, having a dump trailer is almost a must-have. So that is what I'm shopping for right now. So I am in the market for a dump trailer. I have been researching them for probably a good year now. And in the last month, I have gotten a lot more serious in my research. So I have been on YouTube a whole lot, and this is the beauty of YouTube. You know, there are so many good videos out there about dump trailers, and you know, you can reach out to these guys. They're going to answer your questions. So you have a huge library at your disposal when you're trying to do your research. And trying to research a dump trailer has probably been the hardest thing I have researched in a long time. There are so many different brands and styles out there. You know, it really makes trying to finalize your decision extremely difficult. But I think I'm finally starting to make some progress and narrow it down to just a couple brands. Now, where I live, you know, it's both fortunate and unfortunate, because in my area there are a lot of dump trailer dealers in general. You know, like for example, within 45 minutes of me, you can hit almost every major brand of dump trailer. You know, I can think of 2 dealers within 45 minutes of me that both sell Diamond C. One of them sells Load Trail. Within just 20 to 25 minutes of my house, I've got a big dealer group that he's got several trailer dealerships in the state and some out of state. They have Lamar, Shore Track, Iron Bull, Big Tex. I think he's got a couple other ones as well. Rice, I think he's got Rice. So, you know, there's 4 or 5. He might have up to 6 different brands on his lot. There's another one that has Cam, B-Wise, and Big Tex. What else do I have? There's a lot. So I have been trying to visit these dealerships, put my hands on these different trailers, and just try to get a better grip of you know, which ones are good and which ones are bad. Because you can actually tell, you can do a lot of research online, but you know, when you actually see one in person, you know, it really makes a big difference. You can see the weld quality, you can see the paint quality, you can get a really good idea of just the build quality of the trailer itself. So what I've come down to are probably 2 brands that I'm most interested in, and that is Lamar and Diamond C. Now, Diamond C is expensive, and what I'm learning about Lamar, that trailer looks to be really good for the money. The paint quality seems to be extremely high. The build quality seems to be extremely high. And it looks like you get a whole lot for your money out of that trailer. Most of those Lamar, I'm looking at mainly 14 foot. I'm going to consider a 16 foot. But a 14 by 7 is my main focus, and I want a 14,000 pound trailer. So what I'm seeing with the Lamars is, in that size, you get a 7 gauge floor. I do want a low profile trailer, so I want the 24-inch sides, but you can build the boards up because they have tons of stake pockets on them. So you've got 10 gauge walls, 7 gauge floor. They have 12-inch on center floor supports, so really it seems like that trailer has one of the strongest floors in the industry. They're also on an I-beam frame. So that is one of the things I definitely want in a dump trailer. I want one on an 8-inch I-beam frame. I really would like to have a 7-gauge floor. I've been trying to learn the difference between the 10 gauge and the 7 gauge, and not just, obviously the 7 gauge is thicker steel, but how does the 10 gauge hold up for what I want to do to it? You know, I'm going to be dropping logs, dropping firewood. That's going to be about the heaviest thing I'm going to haul. I don't plan on doing any like renovation cleanup stuff where I'm going to have people dumping concrete into the trailer. But, you know, logs can be pretty darn heavy. So I don't want to drop a log or a big round of firewood in that trailer and put a huge dent in the floor. I also want to haul my equipment in it, or mainly my Kubota tractor. So this L4060 right here, you know, this tractor with a couple attachments on it is going to come in close to 7,000 pounds. So it's a pretty big, heavy tractor. And this is where I'm running into the debate of going 14 foot versus 16 foot. For some reason in my head, I would prefer to have a 14-foot trailer because I really would only need a 16-foot if I'm hauling this. But in a 14-foot, this tractor will just fit. The 16-foot will just give me a little more room to move this around. That brings up another point. I'm not only shopping for a dump trailer, I'm also shopping for an equipment trailer. So my main goal out of this is to walk away with a 14 or 16 foot 14K dump trailer and a 22, maybe a 20 foot, but probably a 22 foot equipment trailer, both 14K trailers. Because with a 14 or with a 22 foot trailer, I can easily haul this L4060 with the bucket or the grapple and my brush cutter on the back of it. So, you know, I want to be able to move this around with no problem, to do brush cutting jobs, you know, do property cleanup jobs. But I also want to be able to squeeze this into the dump trailer if I'm just doing a cleanup job or picking up logs somewhere where I need this to load the trailer up. So there's a lot to think about. There's a lot of research to do. And luckily we have YouTube to really help out with that. Because like I said, there are a ton of good videos out there. So again, my main selling points on a dump trailer, you know, they're expensive. So I want to buy, you know, I want to spend my money wisely. I want to get a lot for my money with the dump trailer. I don't want one where the paint finish is going to start to, you know, flake off and the trailer is going to start to rust in 2 years. You know, I want this trailer to last a long time. So I want a heavy duty trailer. You know, I want to make sure I get the right size. I would really like to have a 7-gauge floor. I want the 8-inch I-beam frame, and I would really like to have a 3-way tailgate. You know, I want one where I can put the tailgate, you know, down like a pickup truck, plus having the barn door and the spreader style. So the Lamar hits all of those. The Diamond C hits most of those except for the floor. Now, most of the Diamond Cs that you'll see out there on dealer lots, at least the 2 dealerships that I have close to me, they both have 14 and 16 foot, the LPT model, which is the heavy duty Diamond C dump trailer, but they all have the 10 gauge sides and floors in them with 16-inch on center floor supports. And I have seen some videos out there where guys are using them pretty hard and the floors are really wavy in them. I have not seen that with any of the Lamar dump trailers. So doesn't mean it hasn't happened. Maybe there's just not a video out there for it, but that's what I'm coming across so far. So I guess really I'm leaning towards the Lamar more than anything. I do like the design of the Diamond C a little bit better. I like that it has the 24-inch walls with the keyways, so you can put You know, I think they come with a 6-inch board in them, so you have that 6-inch extension, which you can easily take out if you don't need it in there. So, you know, say you're loading up a skid steer or a Mini X, and you need to be able to swing that door open. You know, you might need to take that board extension off of there. So, you know, the Lamar doesn't have that. The Lamar just has a flat top all the way around. You can put board extensions on them, but I don't think it looks as nice as the trailers that have the keyways already welded to the top of the trailer. And then they also have the tarps will sit on top as well, so you have a little taller front on the trailer. So I don't know. I'm getting close. You know, like I said, I've really narrowed my research down to those two. I'm really liking what I'm seeing with the Lamar. Plus, it's a couple $1,000s cheaper than the Diamond C. I have reached out to a couple of YouTubers who have been very kind to respond and give me their input. And I just sold my trailer today. So, you know, we're making progress. Hopefully, within the next couple weeks, I have this all done. I have these trailers on the ground, on my property, and I can show you guys what I got. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from any of you guys that own any of these trailers, and just tell me what you think of them. You know, 2 weeks ago, I was almost dead set on the Big Techs. I found, you know, one of my local dealers, he had a really nice Big Tex dump trailer, a 14-foot in stock, and those trailers, not even in the heavy duty form, have an 8-inch I-beam frame on them. So that was, well, it's actually considered a heavy duty, but they also have one above that, the X series. But this one came in at like $9,500, and it looks like a really solidly built trailer. 8-inch I-beam frame. Kind of a low profile. I think it had like a 28 or 29-inch ride height or deck height, so still pretty low for easily loading equipment into it. The sides were nice and reinforced. The floor is nice and reinforced. The tailgate was nice and sturdy. You know, when you grab the tailgate and give it a good shake, it was nice and sturdy. So it looks like a really well-built trailer at a good price. But when I started researching it more, it looks like the paint finish on them is absolutely terrible. You know, I saw a bunch of guys that, you know, 1-2-year-old trailers, and all the paint was already off of the floor, and the entire floor was rusted out on them. So I don't know if that's common. Maybe it was just how that guy was using that trailer. You know, I'm not quite sure. So any input for any of you out there that have a dump trailer, you use it for firewood, you use it to haul stone, you know, what brand do you have? Is it holding up well? And any input will be really helpful. So I really appreciate that. Right, back to the firewood. So let's get a couple of these bags finished up. I don't need to load any into the roadside stand right now. It is filled, but you know, today's Wednesday. By Friday and Saturday, it should be getting close to empty again, I hope. And I want to have some bags ready to quickly refill it, because I actually have a pretty busy weekend, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of time for firewood. This Wolfe Ridge bagging station has been amazing. This thing has cut my bagging time in half easily, especially when I have it right next to where I have my wood stacked. So, you know, it's minimal how you're moving your firewood around, and this thing just makes bagging really easy. So, kind of see real-time speed here, how long it takes to load up one bag. Once you get to that last piece, you can drive yourself nuts a little bit trying to make it fit really nice. These are This is a 1¼ cubic foot bin, and these bags are 21 inches wide by 24 inches long. And these bags are sold by Northern Woodsman. So they have a big online store of products. Wolfe Ridge recommends the 22-inch wide bags, not the 21-inch wide bags. These fit. I actually prefer these. I think I'm gonna stick with the 21s. I just had these in stock when I got this bagging station. So this bag fits tight. Let me show you here. See, hopefully you can get a good look at this. This bag fits tight. So you have to put it on. This is really the only way you can get it on. You got to hook it at the bottom first and then push it over the top. And then you got to kind of slide it down a little bit at a time. So the 22-inch bag is going to fit on this a lot easier. But what I like with this 21-inch bag is it's filled perfectly. Now, I put one more in here just to make the bag nice and tight. So even this 21-inch bag, where you're supposed to use the 22-inch bag, you know, you still need to, you can still easily add one more pretty good sized piece of firewood. Now we've got a very nicely filled bag here. And I can never close the top of my bags all the way, which is how I know it's filled right. So, there you go. That's what my bags look like. All right, let's do another one. My bags usually hold about 13 to 14 pieces of firewood with how I split my firewood. I don't split it real small, but definitely on the smaller side of things. And you also don't need to be like real finicky about your splits. I mean, like this piece, you know, it's real knotty on one end. The other end's perfect, but this end has a big knot on it. But when you're bagging your firewood, you can kind of conceal that stuff pretty good. It's still a good piece of firewood. I can get one more in here. Sometimes I don't have them completely flush with this, which is okay. So I kind of jam them in there sometimes a little tight, but it's gonna come out. So you can see you gotta work that bag. Just get it like halfway down the label. There you go. Find that gap. Sometimes you have to put two pieces in. Most of the time, one piece does it. This one. I think we're gonna get one more in this one. Yeah, there it is. All right. I'm not gonna bore you with any more of that, so I'll finish this up. I'll see you in a couple seconds. All right, guys, the last thing I want to do today is I have some firewood poles out front. I want to get them cut down to size so I can move them with the tractor. So I'm gonna get the 462 out, the steel 462. I absolutely love that saw. I haven't run it for a little while now. So that thing has got amazing power. It's nice and light, and it sounds really darn good with that bark box on it. So if you want to watch that thing run, stick around for a little bit after we finalize this video here. All right, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you like this content, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. I can't wait to hear from you guys on some of that dump trailer information, because that will be a really huge help in helping me finalize my decision on that. So thanks again, and I will see you guys on the next one.